there's something weird with running. Everyone automatically turns into a brother or a sister to a family. ParkRun attend certain jails. It happened for them to come to this jail that I was in at HMP Henley every Saturday to complete a 5k run with the prisoners. Like, that's my message to the youth as well. Just start early. So there's a lot of people that don't have a talent, and I just create a talent. No one gets left behind, and our duty is to help one another. The more you help someone, the more they help you. So how can you struggle? I've lost 3.5 years of my life. It's time to get it back. So my name's Hermen Dange. I grew up in Manchester, UK, and I'm a runner, I'm a businessman, plus whatever else is there to come.
The runner part, let's start there, because that's an interesting story. Where did running first come to you?
Yeah, so I think last time I ever ran before turning into a runner was probably in high school during cross country, which was many years ago. Never really had a passion for running. So as I grew up, I got involved in my life's been a bit up and down, so I got involved in some not up to good things. Ended up in prison. During my prison sentence, the organisation called ParkRun, you heard of it?
Yes.
Yeah, so ParkRun attend certain jails. So they happened for them to come to this jail that I was in at HMP Henley every Saturday to complete a 5k run with the prisoners. So for me, at first, it was just, I applied and it was just extra time at my cell. Yeah. And then as I got there, I've shared this many times, I got a nice little buzz from it. I felt good after completing the run. I wasn't the best, and I wasn't the worst as well. So I thought, you know what, this is something I could potentially look into here. And the whole community, the whole support after the run, it was beautiful. Just the fact that they've come from the outside to come into prison to support us was real, and that went over my head. So that was happening every week. So I stay consistent with it every week. My fitness levels started getting higher, as in it improved very well. And my mental was nice as well. It was good. I was no longer stressing about, prison, my sentence. And it gave me a little bit of a regime on what to do as well. Upon release of prison, I continued with the whole runs, with the Saturday runs, increased it to 2 to 3 runs a week. And here we are, man.
When you were inside, man, and I appreciate it's probably a bit difficult thing to talk about, but was the run something you would look forward to in the week? Like you mentioned, Saturday, was that something you always kind of look forward to?
Yeah, definitely so, especially after like week 3, like you feel a lot stiff when you've not run or exercised for a while, especially with 5Ks, long distance running. So the first week was a bit tough. I couldn't feel my legs for the first few days, and then as I was stretching, as weeks went by, so week 3, week 4, I was buzzing. I couldn't wait. So every week I was on that I was pretty much the first person in the queue, lining up, ready to go outside and run. Yeah, I was ready.
It's a long way to go from there to where you are now. Like those Saturday mornings, now when you look back at them, that's like a life-changing moment, right? That's changed your life, those runs.
Yeah, definitely. So my old Saturdays used to look a bit like this. So I used to wake up on a Saturday, ringing 1 or 2 people, seeing what they're up to, going out for drinks, ended up somewhere, nightlife during night time, in the clubs, and then not waking up till whatever time on a Sunday, like 12, 1 p.m, hungover. So when I was in prison, there was no other option but to go bed early. So I said to myself when I come out, like, why should I not stick to this regime? Why should I not stick to running? There's only positive things are coming from it, so why not do it? And that's exactly what happened. So I stopped going out, I was fresh, I was fit, I felt good, and I was influencing people by staying consistent, by running, and to the point where 1 or 2 friends were joining me now and again, and they had the exact same feedback as me, like, wow, I feel good, I feel productive, I'm waking up on a Sunday fresh. You know, I wake up Saturday nights, I'm tired. Rather than going out, and I want to go sleep, preparing myself to go to the gym the next day, or just boosted up, ready to do something positive, of course. But
It must have felt quite nice as well, like after getting released, knowing that you were coming back to something in running, because you had that inside, obviously, but you knew that that was there waiting for you on the outside too.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So I've always been very competitive as well. So, like I said, a few friends started joining me, and then was doing like competitive runs now and again once a week. Um, we turned into runners just by training. I done a lot of research alongside of my friend Check. Done a lot of research on running, runners training, competition. Started applying, and then through the back of that, it's changed my life around. Like I've got opportunities, like massive opportunities. I started working with the biggest sports brands out there in the UK, so I don't regret nothing.
Yeah, man, it's literally skyrocketed. Seeing you on the London Marathon coverage was pretty special, and that must have felt like a moment for you and the whole Maid running crew, which we'll get into shortly. What was that like, seeing yourself, your story being told on screen, and kind of putting yourself out there on a platform like that?
Yeah, sick man, it was amazing. So still can't believe it to this day. So all the news articles, all the opportunity I get, it sounds surreal in it, but it's what happens when you stay consistent, and mainly when you're around positive people or like-minded people. Um, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Like I was in prison, came out, and here I am with a career. Um, Made running, and the people that attend Made running, and they're doing just that as well. There's some massive results from those that are following a similar path to mine. They're getting the opportunities now as well, so it shows that it's working.
What would you say now to yourself, do you reckon, if you had the opportunity to go back to Herman, who was inside, and tell him kind of what's happening down the line? Do you think he would have believed you?
No, I'll probably say to myself, start early. Like that's my message to the youth as well. Just start early. So there's a lot of people that don't have a talent, and I just create a talent. You know, mainly by being around people who believed in me, like the guys at the park runs. You know, they was giving me some good gems. Like, look, you could be a good runner. You can be a good athlete if you take this serious upon release. This, that, boom, boom, boom. And I locked in. So yeah, I'd probably say to my younger self, like, you need to start early, so more opportunities go.
Maid running, where did that start? Where was that idea born? And kind of talk me through to where you are now, because just before we get recorded on this, I said, man, you're building an empire, because
Yeah,
you've got an amazing facility there. How did we get to this point? Because it doesn't just get to where we are.
definitely not. So touched on it before. So came out of prison, started doing my runs, and built a bit of a buzz when it came to running. So running wasn't really cool a couple of years ago, and then the pandemic hit. You know, everyone's doing a whole fitness thing, going into the gyms or park, workouts, runs. As soon as the pandemic finished, I carried on with running. And then my friend sat me down, Jack. Friend sat me down and he said, look, you've got a beautiful platform. You've got a good following now. Look at the opportunity that's coming from left, right and centre. Let's start a run club. Looked at other run clubs at the time. So this was last year, July. So it's our 1 year anniversary next month. But looked at other run clubs, and they were too serious. And I wanted to give that that park run approach, the community, you know, there's no pressure to get in a PB, supporting one another. So as we're looking into other run clubs, I thought, okay, let's see what's missing and let's see if we can make it happen. So at first, it was just a group of friends that got together. It was never in the plans to average out 400 to 500 people on a Saturday. So there was 7 to 9 of us for the first 2 weeks. And then we started at 5 a.m.s. There was like 3 people on the first 5 a.m. Cut a long story short, week 5, week 6, started doing over 50 to 60 people. And I believe that it grew mainly because we stuck to our brand ethos, which is no one gets left behind. So as soon as someone finishes a 5K, we'll go back to help the other person finished the 5K. We've got people who sometimes don't even do their own runs. All they do is pace make for the whole of the 5K, and we're helping people push the limits. So that's what ParkRun were doing to me in prison. So I said to my friend, like, if we're gonna do it, let's maintain it. It's no longer about us; it's about everyone that's involved. So yeah, I believe that's one of the reasons why it grew so quick.
What's it like now turning up on a Saturday morning and there being hundreds of people rather than single digits?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's mad. So whether it's raining or not, we'll do over 200 to 300 people. Um, it's crazy. The feedback you get, the testimonies that you hear from people, which a lot of them are similar to mine. Some people have had that experience, that jail experience. Some used to suffer with mental health. You know, some have lost parents, and they're coming there to forget about that. So, it's crazy. Like, I have to pinch myself every now and again, innit? Literally. And that's not just me, that's just the team as well. They say the exact same thing, like, how's this happen?
Yeah, and like you as the figurehead of Maid, like you say, there's that team behind there as well. But that must almost be a bit of a weird thing to kind of accept that these people are kind of there because of you and you've created this whole thing. And I know it's now a community thing and a team-led thing as well, but do you sit back and smell the roses and think, I've helped, this is a real special thing we've created here? Or is it a day-by-day work hard grind, see where we can take it?
Yeah, definitely a bit of both, and I say this every Saturday as well. Like, so the runners also help me a lot. So one, they're keeping me busy, and then two, they're giving me a career, believe it or not. So Maid Run is now turning into a brand. It's not just a run club. The way we're going with things is we want it to be very educational. So we've got the space where I'm currently at the moment. You know, I want to start educating the younger guys, the young adults, the adults, based on real life issues, fitness. You know, we've got a fitness facility and we've got other educational rooms. So every person that turns up to Maid Running, whatever they're promoting it, in a bad way or in a positive manner, they're helping the brand grow, which, like I said before, it's giving me a career. So I'm buzzing, and I thank him all the time in it for believing in this platform, for believing in me.
Obviously, you're in Manny right now, and Manchester's going to be the home for Maid. But where do you see this in the future? Do you see Maid running abroad? I know you've actually just been out in LA, haven't you? Do you see it in other places in the UK?
Yeah, so there's no limit at the moment. So we're in talks with a few people. So we'll be collabing with other running brands, and we'll see what comes with that. So we've got countries that we want to hit in Europe, and we've got London that we need to touch as well. So the demand's been crazy for London. So I think we'll be coming to London, hopefully end of the year or Jan. Yeah. Hopefully the brand ethos stays as well, it sticks. So no one gets left behind. And our duty is to help one another. The more you help someone, the more they help you. So how can you struggle? But yeah, so the plan's obviously to branch out, definitely.
Talk to me about you, Hermen. Like, you said inside the guys at ParkRun telling you could be a talented athlete, you could be a good runner. You're going to have your own personal running goals as well. What are they? What have you got planned? Have you got anything planned? And yeah, where do your personal running goals take you?
Yeah. So one of my first goals was to complete a marathon. Who would have thought I'd be doing a marathon? So when I was doing the park runs in prison, the aim was just to complete it, to finish. And that's what they say to you. Like, look, it's okay to do 5 kilometers. It's okay if you do less, there's no pressure. My goal was to do 10K, but I did that within the first week of getting released because I was eager. My goal was then to do a half marathon run, and then set myself a goal to do my first marathon completed. And then that's when a lot of brands started popping up saying, look, you've got something special, you're a good runner, why don't you take part in this running event and we'll sponsor you. So, ASIC's a brand I'm wearing now, we worked with Adidas. I've worked with quite a few brands, so the plan's just to keep growing my own personal brand as well.
What was it like completing that first marathon?
Deadly. Yeah, deadly. I had good support though. I went over to London with 6 of my friends. Um, Deadly, absolutely deadly. I'm very competitive, but that humbled me. It showed me that, it doesn't matter how fast you are, you're going to rely on the crowd and the runners itself. So we've got people patting me on the back saying, come on, mate, don't slow down or don't walk. I've got you. You've got people that walk and run with you. It humbled me. So yeah, it was mad. It humbled me. And yet again, I seen the whole support. I've seen the whole family feel. There's something weird with running. Everyone automatically turns into a brother or a sister to a family. Yeah, and I noticed that in the marathon. I noticed that at Maid running every time we do our runs. But yeah,
I think it's a leveler, and I think that's probably something you've experienced as well. Like, doesn't matter what your past is, it doesn't matter what your future is, it doesn't matter what the present is. It's like, it's just a leveler. You're all there at the same time. I should probably say, like, it does matter what the present is, because that's where you are, isn't it? That's where you're together, and that's where you're all doing exactly the same thing. And it's obvious to see when you look at the Maid running videos and other content you've made as well, that you're creating a platform that it literally doesn't matter apart from that exact moment right there. No one's left behind. You're cracking on, and that is special, right?
Yeah, 100%. Doesn't matter whether you're white, black, so skin color doesn't matter. Whether you've got a disability or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you're oversized or you're muscly, it does not matter. Like you said, like, we are all one trying to get to that finish line, and you can apply that to everyday life as well. So wherever you're going from, from a new job and then trying to turn into a manager, you need to build confidence. Yeah. In order to build confidence, you can utilize the running, get out there, meet new people, like, work on your communication skills. We're naturally doing that at these runs. So how can it not work? You will get to that finish line. It's worked with me, so can't see why it won't work with anyone else.
I've seen you talking about this in the past, and you kind of mentioned it already. The fact that, people in similar situations to yourself have, come out of jail or out of prison and come and joined you guys at Maid running. How does that make you feel? Because that's a very personal experience that a lot of people won't have lived. So that must be quite a proud feeling to be able to say, look, I understand. Like, I understand what you're going through here.
Yeah. Like you said, like, I get it, innit? Like, the first thing when you come out of prison is, what am I going to do? If you don't keep yourself busy, something called bills that I speak about all the time, like, you need to pay bills, and that's why I don't judge anyone. I don't like judging people. Some people, get a job or try to, but yet again, the job opportunities that are out there for ex-convicts aren't the best, and they're not the best of jobs as well, if there is opportunities. So the first thing that's in your head when you come out of prison is, what am I going to do? I've gone from being this guy to being this guy, not earning anything. Everyone's looking at me, even though they're not, but that's how it feels like. This person's doing this person's doing that. What do I do? And one thing I always say to him is like, look, keep yourself busy, find a hobby in it. It's like, you're never too young to find a hobby. Hobbies aren't just for children. One of my hobbies is running. Someone else's hobbies could be cooking, it could be singing, rapping, whatever it may be. And then just work on that hobby, turn that hobby into your dream, into a career. And that's what's happening now. So I've got friends who come out of prison and they're now mentors. Yeah, they're now mentors going into schools, speaking about their experiences, where they've gone wrong, educating people, educating the youth. You've got people that have come out of prisons and straight away they're into the fitness, boxing. They signed up for the first amateur fight, absolutely smashing it. So find a hobby and then just crack on. If you need help, don't be shy to speak up. That's what we're here for.
where does your grind come from, Herman? Because you don't just come into a situation like you're in, like you're a special bloke that knows how to grind. Like not everybody knows to do what you do. You're working hard. I think I saw someone on your Instagram this morning, like, yeah, there's only 1% of people that do genuinely really, really work, even if you're talking the big game. Like, where does that come from you?
Do you know what? It all comes from. I've got a saying in it. Well, it's not my saying, but remember where you come from. It comes from a parent, so it comes from a mum. So, and the majority of all our mums, or whoever it is that's looking after us, they make sure that they put the food on the table. Yeah, and I spoke on this in the Run Club. It's down to you now whether you eat or not. So, seeing your mum getting in from work, making the food, going back to work repetitively from the age of 1 until now, it's like, okay, why would you not want to be like your mum? Do you know what I mean? What, like, why don't you join your mum? So I decided to join that years ago. I decided to join her grind years ago just by, helping her wash the pots. She's been teaching me discipline from way back. Unfortunately, I got distracted. And again, we always rush to succeed. So I couldn't wait to be a grown up. I couldn't wait to, earn a good wage. So rather than going the legit way, I went down the wrong path, and that's where it took me. But back to your question, the grind came from my mum just seeing her chase it every single day, putting food on the table. And that was one of my things as well. Like, okay, I need to now put food on the table for my little sisters, for my mum and friends, and whoever else that's around me.
And I guess your experiences mold you, your experiences shape you and bring you to this point. It's obviously a difficult question to ask, but do you look back at the past and regret things, or do you kind of look back on it and think, without that past lived experience, I wouldn't be where I am. Maid Run wouldn't even be a thing, and you might not have even found running.
Yeah, so a bit of both. Yeah, a bit of both. So obviously, if I could go back in time, like I shared with you before, I'll do things a bit different. So I'll chase greatness a lot earlier if I knew that it's this doable. I don't regret it too much because I won't be here today. So my mission, my job is to educate those that are going down the wrong path. And then the majority of people, the majority of the young ones that are going around down the wrong path, they've got a talent, which is confidence. They're confident people, and that's what a lot of people lack. So, if you're brave enough to get a chase from the police, you're brave enough to start your own business and employ people. Yeah. You're not scared of that. If you're brave enough to speak or to throw a pen whilst the teacher isn't listening, you're brave enough to step outside and just run and see what time you can get. You can always turn it into a positive. So I've got a mission. So my mission is to educate people and to be a positive role model, because in my old days, I used to look up to people who I thought were the right role models, and I ended up in hell pretty much. So it's time to fly into heaven now and just chase it, do it the right way.
Yeah, man. It's honestly, hearing you speak is incredibly inspirational. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while, and like, it almost feels like you've got a call in here, doesn't it? It feels like you're meant to be doing this.
Definitely. So I don't complain over what I do now with Maid Run. I see Maid Run as a full-time job. I love it. Yes, it's tiring sometimes, but I can't wait sometimes when at home for it to be Saturday again or Wednesday again, ready for the next run. Every other day I'm answering calls, listening to people's problems. And I remember when I was sat in jail, it was me doing that to my mum or to two of my mates. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, this, that, boom, boom, boom. So I don't mind doing it now because it's a job. I enjoy it. It's nice. And like I said before, like, I can see the results in certain people that I'm helping. Look, do they know that they're helping me as well? My confidence is always building, so I'm not stopping. And even if maybe it doesn't work, touch wood, it's on to the next project. So since I've been out, I've tried a few things. Some have worked, some haven't. So the mission is to educate and just keep going.
And how important is that education side of it?
It's key because, sad as it sounds, the schools aren't doing it. The government isn't really doing it. You know, they scream it. There's certain organisations out there that scream community. They ain't doing nothing for the community. We rely on each other. We're all humans. We're all family. So if we're not being educated by the people we're around, we're in a bad place. We're ending up in a very bad place.
Maybe that's one thing that, you know, maybe we haven't touched on. You mentioned like running being super special and that tapping on the back during the marathon, those people supporting. And it is that, isn't it? It's that sense of community that maybe is sometimes missing in everyday life, that sense of community that you'll just walk past somebody in the street that maybe you should help, or, you know, help somebody off the train with their bag, or talk to somebody about a past experience you've had that might help them. For some reason, we've lost that. And I think if we could bring part of what running does to a lot of people into the community, which is a lot of what you're trying to do, that would be, I mean, it would benefit everybody tenfold, wouldn't it?
No, definitely 100%. So it doesn't even just have to be running. It could just be, you know, meeting up every Saturday to watch a film together as a collective, where it takes one person to set up that WhatsApp group. Like, yo, the 6 of us here, let's do a movie night every Saturday rather than going out clubbing, which might lead to violence. You know, let the 10 of us start a gym session every week, twice a week. Doesn't just have to be running. As long as you've got like-minded people around you who want more in life, you can make it happen. So the more we stick together, though, like, the more we'll succeed. And my thing is, why waste time? Do you know what I mean? Why waste it?
Do you think the appreciation of time is now more because of being inside?
Yeah, definitely. I didn't even care about time before. I thought I'd be young forever. I thought I'd be a teenager forever. Whereas now, again, I've got bills to pay. You know, I want to start a family. I've got a family to look after. And time's ticking. So why not smash it out now? So at first, I said it, like, when I first come out, I've lost 3.5 years of my life. It's time to get it back. And when I do get it back, there's no stopping. Like, I just have to keep going. Like I said before, if one thing doesn't work, it's on to the next. There's no dwelling about it or crying about it in bed.
We'll finish with this because you're a busy man. You got a lot to do. If there's somebody listening to this right now, and it's going to be quite a broad question, but on purpose, just to see what you say, like, what would be the one piece of advice if they're going through a time in their life that feels like they're not on the right track or on the right path? Like, what would you say to them?
Yeah, so speak to people, or speak to someone you want to be like. Yes, whether it's a doctor, whether it's that person in the call center who's a manager, whether it's a runner, footballer, like myself. I speak to a lot of people that I want to be like through social media or real life. Yes, mate, are you okay? How did you get there? Have you got 2 minutes for me? What's your number? You might get a couple of those, but you have to keep digging. They'll tell you about their struggles. Anyone who's succeeded has struggled. And that's why nowadays I read a lot, I watch a lot of podcasts, because I like learning about certain individuals. Why struggle alone? It's so refreshing when you hear that someone that you're speaking to has also gone through what you're currently going through. So why waste time? Speak to someone and get to it.